Hey, and welcome to the driving show. We are at episode 22, so I hope your day's going good. I am on my way to the gym, so let me ask you, have you worked out today? What does that look like in your day? Right now, as I'm talking to you, it's the start of the week, so we are just getting going. I usually take Sundays off, so I actually am not looking forward to going to the gym. I just want to stay home. I'd been watching during my lunch break this anime, and man, they have some really good script for how they do their battle, like big battles, because they can spend like six, 7, maybe 10 episodes all just fighting one battle where they like bounce around from different characters in different areas, and man, it's good. And I mean, they make that on purpose to try to be addicting, to try to stick you in front of your screen. So I'm like, I know that, but at the same time, it's fun to watch something that's fun, that gets you pumped up. And that's what I found in a lot of these animes, which I know some of you probably don't watch them, you think it's weird, but a lot of the character qualities that these characters have, I think are really, they're great. You have to work hard. They are ones that are working out, trying to get better at their skill, being intentional, showing up, have a good group of friends, fighting against bad and evil, all things that, in our own life we can see. So that's what I think is fun when you do watch either shows or even books, if you are reading books in particular too, where you can kind of escape reality, or at least your own life, but then at the same time, you do get to see some qualities in the characters and within the story that can be inspiring and really push you forward. So that is all to say. I would say start with reading first if you can, but if not, there's a lot of fun anime shows out there, or maybe even just shows that have regular real life people that you can relate to, that kind of pump you up to show you that you can go out and chase your dreams and get all of that together, because that's what we're here for, right? Yeah. To help you start, build, and promote your own business. But last week I left it off saying I wanted to share something, but I didn't have enough time because I was already at the gym, but I was like, I'll bring it back up when I see you next. So that is now. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. So kind of leading off from where I had been in the last episode, I mentioned I was on this new guy's email list. His name is Dakota, maybe Robertson, possibly. But anyways, his thing is about growing your, personal brand. So having a personal brand, and a lot of it so far that he's been sending through this 7-day free email course is about how, you will need to bring value to your customers, but really followers before you can turn them into customers to get people. But the one thing that I thought was really cool that he shared, and it's that idea that, you can, and maybe I did talk about this, I don't know, it's been a couple days, but it is something my mentor had mentioned too, where you can be, and you should always be, educating yourself. So looking up to people that are ahead of you, learning from them, gaining as much as you can about their own journey, their own story, how they got there, the things they're doing, so that you can learn and get better yourself. And then you've got yourself, and then guess what? You can educate those a couple steps behind you that are not at your level, that kind of are like where you just were, or and are. You're looking a few steps up. Well, the people behind you, they're also looking a few steps up. And so that actually, I think, is so encouraging for anyone with a business, really, because I feel like, I don't know, because I'm only 3 years in my own business, but I feel like it'll probably be a decade before I feel like super confident and knowing I know everything I'm doing, yeah. And even then, just living 3 decades of life about, I know that's probably not even something, because we're always learning, we're always growing, and we should always be doing that. But I think that's really helpful, especially if you are newer in your business, because a lot of times you may be thinking, oh, I need to hit these certain benchmarks before I can create value or be helpful for someone. And that is just not the case. Wherever you are now in your life story, the journey you're on, the experiences you've lived, you can actually share that with other people that are a few steps behind you and make the biggest impact, way bigger than you would even think. And the cool thing with that too is, say the people I'm looking to that are a few steps above me, that's good for me based on where I'm at, but the people behind me, that's too far of a jump for them to look all the way up there, because they're not just going 2 steps to learn. That's like going 10 steps ahead, and there's just a big disconnect there. So I think that is also really cool. Like, the more you think of it and try to figure out how you can implement that in your own business, because even if you have products, you can create content, you can create online classes, master classes, courses, where you're sharing what you know and what you're using in your own business, not to those that are ahead of you, but you're marketing to those who want to get into whatever space you're already in. And that's where, even if you've just been doing it, a couple weeks, a couple months, a year or two, like, trust me, so much that can be so helpful and, completely valuable to those that you are wanting to attract and bring in. So that was something that I've been learning. The thing in his email today was about, which I need to really get better at, but when you are creating and writing, this was specific to writing the content, he suggests having 3 steps, a 3-step formula, and it's what, why, and how. So what is your main idea that you're trying to get across in this piece of content you're sharing? Then why is it important for whoever is consuming it to actually listen to this idea? And then lastly, how can they implement this idea into their life, into whatever that main idea is? So that's something that I understand. It makes complete sense, and it will actually be helpful, because then it will cut down a lot of the extra words. Ooh. One semi cut off another semi, and he is not happy. But hopefully that's something that I can really utilize and get better at. That's what I'm going to really focus on. And I've mentioned this a lot, the emails I send, I like to write a lot. I think it's fun. I wish everyone just loved to read because I think what I write can be fun, but I always go back and I cut out a ton of stuff. I learned that when I was at the startup. My boss, one of the co-founders, she had been an editor at a big company, and so she had spent years reading through writers' works and cut out the fluff, the stuff you don't need, give exactly what the person needs, knowing that people are not going to read very closely. They don't have time to read. They're going to get exhausted. They're just not going to open up your email or read the description. So I already know that, but having those few key pieces to know of what am I trying to say with what I'm posting? Why is this important for my person, which are those, aspiring current owners? Why should they listen to this idea of what I'm talking about? And then what do I want them to do, which is kind of like the call to action. How can they take what they know now and implement it into their life, their business, so on and so forth. So I'm excited to try using that out. And then one last thing, because I'm almost at the gym now, is I don't know if it's hard taking a 2-day break because I don't remember what I talked about on Friday, but I think I actually worked on this over the weekend, so you haven't heard this. I am, based off of what that guy said, getting into writing every day, and I'm putting them as if they were tweets, but I'm putting them on my Instagram and Facebook because I don't have a Twitter account. I actually went through and deleted all of the Twitter ones, or it's X now, but I wasn't on there enough, I wasn't using them. And then really overall, they just have so much explicit content that is just all over the place, and it wasn't good. It's not worth me falling into any of that and really destroying myself for that. So it's better that I'm just not on there for all reasons. But there are templates in Canva, so if you open a square, really any size order, not an order, I don't know, just an Instagram square, open that up, blank template, then under design you can type something like Twitter quotes or Twitter tweets or something like that, and then they actually have a ton of really cool templates where you can just add your own little photo, your name, your @ handle. It has a little dot, so it looks like you just screenshot basically a tweet that you did and then you're repurposing it. So I'm using that because based on what the guy said, is the nice thing with Twitter is you only have a certain amount of characters, I believe around 280. So where I like to write a lot, you can't, because you only have a certain amount that you can write. So it really helps you practice at getting concise and clear at what you're trying to say. And that's before I knew the whole what What, why, how? I'm gonna have to keep repeating that to really cement it in my mind. But that's before I knew that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, then you have to be so clear and so to the point. But he was saying that's a really good way to get better at writing, to draw people in, to really, you're not beating around the bush, like, this is why I'm here, this is what I'm thinking. But it also creates an easy way for me to come out with more content for you as the follower, to know what I'm thinking, my own direction of where I'm taking my business, because that I've talked about before is like, if you can be controversial or have very set opinions, it's actually more helpful in the long run, because being in the middle, wishy-washy, like, no one wants that. People on all sides would just ignore you or not really engage with you. So I'm hoping, even though some of the stuff I put may not hit everyone the right way, like, in the end, that's fine, because I will eventually attract and keep those who are on the same page with me. So that's what I've been doing, hopefully each day. And then I guess I'll talk about tomorrow one of the thoughts that I had, but it's that idea of, you are in charge of your own small business. You are the leader. And I think many times, I'll have a reel coming out later today. I wanted to post it all, and I'm like, Michael, you have to wait a couple hours before you just spam the feed with all these things. But it's that idea of, you're the leader, so do so confidently, lead, run your business how you want to do it. And just, because it's so easy to let social media, family, friends, even strangers have input into your life and business that you start listening to, even if that's not what you would do. And then all of a sudden, months later, maybe even years later, hopefully it doesn't get that bad, but you're scratching your head and you're like, how did we get here? This is not what I wanted. And I think that is one of the coolest things about being a small business owner, is you do get to be in charge. And when you start your business, you know that. But as time goes on, it's very easy to let those thoughts, opinions, trends, I've got to do this because everyone's saying I need to do this. That can actually really damage and ruin your own business. So I kind of just mentioned it all here, but I'll check in tomorrow. If you haven't worked out yet, go ahead and do so. Get active. Your health, yourself, your body, everything will thank you. But yeah, we'll check in with you guys tomorrow.